Hello, I'm Panos Kotsathanasis, and this is Bad Accent Video Reviews. Today we are going to talk about I, the Executioner, a film that was released in 2024. But before we talk about that, let's talk a bit about the South Korean action comedy Veteran, which was written and directed by Ryoo Seung-wan and came out in 2015. It was a huge success, which grossed over $92 million and became the all-time fifth highest grossing film in the local cinema history. A sequel with Ryu directing, Hwang Jung-min and Oh Dal-soo reprising the roles was soon in the works, but it only hit the screens titled I, the Executioner 9 years later. This time around, Detective Seo Do-cheo, played by Hwang Jung-min, and his violent crimes investigation unit members have to deal with Haeji, a serial killer and a vigilante rolled into one. Haeji only kills criminals who deserve to die, according to him anyway. Furthermore, when the judicial system fails to discipline the guilty, his punishment of these criminals has gained him a following on social media. Detective Seo is just the opposite. He believes in doing good police work and therefore he is willing to protect these kinds of criminals, something that is actually forced onto him, as we will see as the story unfolds. At the same time, young rookie Park San-woo has joined his team. He's an excellent MMA fighter, and his overall mentality is what appeals to Detective Seo, who probably sees a younger version of himself in him and soon takes him on in his team. Meanwhile, an influencer who streams Haeji's cases is making Seo's jobs more different and more difficult, and by putting innocent people in danger with false information in order to get more money. On top of that, Seo also has to deal with his son being a victim of bullying at school and becoming secluded in-house, something that neither him nor his wife can deal with. But as he investigates further into the killings, he becomes more aware and suspicious of Park's extreme tactics and his obscure motive. Okay, first thing one will notice in comparison with the first film, and probably one of the main reasons there was so much delay in this sequel, is that Yoo Ah-in, who played the villain in the first one, is missing from here, and that is because he was accused of using drugs and was actually convicted. And there was also a case about rape accusations, which he was exonerated from. But still, this caused a lot of problems, and essentially Yoo Ah-in is kind of cancelled now. At the same time, though, Oh Dal-soo, who was also accused of sexual misconduct, and after taking a break from the industry for some years, is now fully up again, and he reprises his role as he did in the first film. Okay, so the film was actually released as Veteran 2 in South Korea and kicks with the Detective Seo and his team taking down an illegal gambling den. This extremely light-hearted opening plays like a continuation of the first film and is the only full-blown humorous moment in the whole sequel, in a style that reminds much of Hong Kong action comedies by a number of directors, maybe a bit Jackie Chan, maybe some others, but you will understand when you see what I mean. The camera then switches to a much darker and serious tone, showing the vigilante killer and his victim in an approach D.P. Choi Hyung-wan retains from beginning to end, with the film being particularly dark. It is also very interesting to check the context here. The concept of vigilism is explored quite thoroughly, with Ryoo presenting the reasons it is created. For example, the gaps in the law, the way male particular offenders seem to be very easy to let go in trials, especially in violent crimes against women, the lack of a sense of justice from the judicial system, and while he also connects it with the concept of social media and fake news and how the truth can be twisted in order to fastly shape public opinion. At the same time, the way this issue is connected with Seo and his team's own tactics, which could also be described as vigilism, and how they have affected even his own son, add even more depth to an already layered narrative. The actual story, however, has some issues, with the characters in particular suffering and the twist being quite obvious very soon, actually. Without revealing too much about the movie, there are too many things happening in its 180 minutes and too many people appearing, a number of them with their own arcs, most of which are expectedly underdeveloped. Hang Jung-min's charisma as Seo saves things to a point, but definitely not fully, since the majority of the other characters suffer significantly. The action sequences, on the other hand, are the stars, and they really shine. The fight on a rooftop in the pouring rain is definitely the highlight. Ryoo uses the wet environment to the fullest for his combatants to grapple, ramp, and slide into each other in a frantic but easy to follow fight. Then there is the parkour style foot chase, which ends rather violently as the chasers tumble down on a long stretch of concrete steps. However, the final set piece, which echoes the Saw film series, where the protagonist has to choose the best outcome, is a bit of a letdown and not that hard-hitting, a bit excessive as a number of scenes, let's say, in the movie. Nonetheless, it has a nice balance of comedy and action, just like the opening scene. In general, Yoo Sang-seop, who functions as the action director here, presents action set pieces which can only be described as spectacular, with a sense of urgency appearing throughout them, and all of them being rather well timed. In the end, the executioner is rewarding and entertaining, but it is definitely on a lower level than its predecessor, perhaps as a sample to the quality of the whole industry compared to the time the original was published. So this was another Bad Accent video review. Thank you very much for watching, and if you like these videos, please like and subscribe. Have a nice day. Bye.